Shalom, everybody, and welcome to the Yishai Fleisher Show, broadcasting live from Judea to the world. You're a part of it wherever you are. Shalom to all of you out there. We were not here last week. We were on a little bit of a break, which is very rare, but we're back. And not only my back, but I'm back with Yishai Fleisher.
Hello.
Shalom and
we're
welcome
after
to
Pesach, so both of us can get out from under our Pesach cleaning schedules to do this show today.
We are, I am a few pounds heavier after eating matzah for a week, and it was a great and beautiful Pesach, filled with holidays and Shabbat and not a lot of Chol HaMoed, which is the intermediary days, but we had a great time. And Pesach was, as usual, a kind of an intense holiday. Now the word joy is written about
Sukkot.
About Sukkot a few times, and about Shavuot I think twice. I think 3 times about Sukkot, twice about Shavuot, and none times about Pesach.
None times.
Because Passover is a holiday of slavery to freedom, but basically like birth. It's like birth. It's like intense. It's like pre-birth is intense, birth is intense, and after the birth it's intense. It's all happy and it's all amazing and it's all the stuff of life. But it's not like the party of life.
Right.
It's the intensity of life, and so Pesach was amazing and intense, and at the same time, not only did the war rage in the kitchen, but also the war raged in Gaza and on the internet, and especially, holy moly, on the campus of Columbia and other campuses. That's where like the scene shift.
I've come up with a name for the places where the protests happened. Poison Ivy.
Oh,
It happened in the Poison Ivy leagues.
Oh, did you tweet that?
I did, kind of, but maybe I need to do it a little bit better.
Dude, I love it.
You like
Poison
it?
Ivy.
Poison Ivy, yeah.
That's the name of the show for today. Poison Ivy. I like it. That's
Nice,
good.
Nice.
You didn't even you hit that from me. Good. I like that.
Awesome.
Yeah. You know what I came up with?
What?
I was training with training with weights.
Yeah.
And this guy says to me, he was talking about weights and he was explaining to me some stuff, and he goes to me, the house always wins. And he was talking about like weights and how the weight doesn't lie, and like if you're weak somewhere then you're going to overcompensate, and that's why you have to be very geometric. And he was giving this whole spiel.
Okay.
And he says the house always wins, and he's like geometry, gravity, he's like very into that. So I was like, the house always wins, that's the temple. And I saw a picture in my mind of the temple and that slogan, the house always wins. I was like, that is so great. I was like, the house always wins. Like, Baruch Hashem. And I want to go off on a little riff on this, if I may.
Go for it.
Can I do a minor riff?
This is your show, the Yishai Fleisher Israel podcast.
I know, right?
So riff away.
I can riff. It's my show. I'll do what I want to.
Yeah.
Here's my riff. The enemies of Israel know us, on the one hand, very well, and they understand our weaknesses well.
Right. But
they don't get the inner truth of the Jewish people. They don't understand the inner conviction of it.
That's for sure.
No, but they really no. But why is it for sure? Like, I think that
they do understand the inner truth of the Jewish people.
No, I think they don't even get our inner psychology. Just that they don't understand what we're about. And I want to say one thing about what we're really about. I don't think you're going to get this from a regular rabbi anyway. Israel is not the best organized country. Certainly not the worst. Certainly not the worst.
True.
I've got this lady from Somalia that's always bothering me. I mean, she doesn't live in Somalia.
She's very bothering you
on Twitter.
Oh,
and she's
like a troll.
She's a troll.
Yeah.
And she doesn't live in Somalia. She's an Oxford grad living in East London, but like she's like very proud Somali Muslim, and she's always about Somalia. And her Twitter handle is something like for Somalia or something like that. Every time she bothers me and she bugs me, I go to her and how's your Somalia doing? Parentheses, Somalia is one of the most underdeveloped and poorest and backwards and civil war countries in the world.
Is it like the bottom of every list?
You know what's so sad about Somalia? You couldn't ask for more of a Garden of Eden in terms of place.
That is sad.
It's got the longest coastline of any African country.
Wow.
I know. How did I get to that? Oh, so she's always, ribbing me. And I can tell that she does not understand how organic Israel is.
What do you mean?
Oh, so Israel's not the most well-organized country.
Right.
Not close to the least
Not
organized.
a Somalia.
Yeah.
Yes.
But our strength doesn't come from how well we organize this country. America is essentially a better organized country.
Well,
essentially.
America's America.
Okay, I'm saying,
Yeah.
but Israel's not that. But Israel's got something that some other peoples have, I think, but we have it in spades, which is it's very, very organic. What do I mean? The land, the names of the places in the land. I'm going to talk a little bit like a native person.
All right.
The names of the places in the land. It connects to our language. Our language is from here. Our feet are connected to
Our
this
history.
land. Our history is here. Our language is here. Our God document is here. Our society is like an ancient society reborn. The sky above us is the God that gave us this land. Everything about this thing is one. There's a oneness. This is opposed to, for example, or Orthodox Jews or any kind of Jews living in America, where they may very well live as a successful society and even be integrated properly or improperly into that society. But it's not the same kind of level of organic. There's something about living here which is it's organic to the level of organism. The Jewish people are like an organism on this land. And when we're here, this land flourishes. And when we live on this land, keeping the Torah with our feet on the ground and our face and our head in the heavens, that is the epitome of a kind of unified, organic, holistic oneness. Our enemies want to describe us as some kind of occupier, colonialist, not belonging here. And yet we are the epitome of belonging here. And I think that they sometimes believe themselves. And it's funny because it's so far from the
When
reality.
they say that we don't belong here.
And you know what? If you don't want to think that it's reality, it's far from our self-perception. When they think that we don't belong here, they don't understand how deeply rooted we are here in this land.
You say that, Yishai, and I like it, and it's poetic, and it's historically accurate.
Well, it's my show.
Right. The Yishai Fleisher Israel podcast.
That's right.
Yes. But
Yeah.
they get some mixed messaging from us.
Sure.
So when you talk about the deeply rooted Jews in the land of Israel, and then you show them news reports about the IDF pulling Jews out of their little hilltop tents and destroying the tents because God forbid that a Jew should move over one hill and start growing his neighborhood over there. When you show them news reports about how for the last 70 years, no, maybe 50 years especially, for the last 50 years, Israel's been talking about a two-state solution.
Mm-hmm.
And only now, after like a literal massacre, we're like, is that even possible? While anyone who's been listening to this show for any length of time knows that we have been screaming about the dangers of a two-state solution for as long as you've known us.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be like 20 years for some of you.
Right.
Okay? So but the power brokers in Israel have been pushing this two-state solution thing for a really long time. So you talk about how organic it is for the Jews in Israel, but some people look at the news and they don't see that it looks so organic. They see infighting about the most basic identity issues, whether Jews should be serving in the army or not, whether all Jews should be serving in the army or not, whether all Jews should be beholden to Torah laws or not, whether we should, base our country on our traditional values or base our country on Western liberal values. So, while you and we live on this vibe of like Jews in Judea, holidays that go with the seasons. A Jewish family from Yemen and a Jewish family from Germany getting married, right? Things that are very organic, like you say. That's not necessarily the picture that some people are getting.
Very well put, Malka. Very, very good. That was very good. And you're right. You're 100% right. And we do send out mixed signals and confusing signals. You're right. But those people that send those confusing signals, they themselves are confused about what that whole description that I made about how organic and holistic our existence here is. They themselves are the ones with the weak narrative and weak identity. By the way, identity is like inner narrative, right? Identity is like your
okay.
Identity is like your inner narrative, the narrative that you have about yourself. Okay. That's what identity is. So I think I never formulated it that way, but it's just that simple.
That would be a good Webster's dictionary thing to look up.
Yeah. But that confusion that you're speaking about, whatever causes it, including ourselves, is still funny to me how deeply they get it wrong. And maybe we send out mixed signals indeed, but it still ends up being like they really don't understand that we're never leaving, that we're from here, that we're always going to be here, and that our connection to this land is beyond anything that they can understand. And it's not just this land; it's the land, it's the God, it's the Torah, it's the language, it's the geography, it's the whole thing. Okay, Malka, I want you to know that Jews are being challenged on American campus right now. Not all American campuses, but certainly at Columbia.
Like some major ones, lots of major ones.
I wrote a tweet today and I deleted it because there was a funny aspect. It was not such a great tweet, but I wrote Columbia Jews are not welcome in Columbia University. Columbia, the country, which is spelled a little bit different. Colombia.
It's spelled exactly the same.
No. It's COLO.
Is it COLO and
right,
COLU? Is
yeah.
that right?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Things that we should know.
Things that we should probably research before the show goes on. Colombia is with a COLO, and also they're now going to cut diplomatic ties with Israel. Okay. And the Columbia shuttle.
What shall we do?
The Columbia shuttle. Was the one that exploded and killed the crew, including Elon Ramon. So
what? Come on.
I'm just saying three bad things named Columbia.
Bad.
But the Columbia Sportswear company is still awesome and has many stores in Israel.
Lots
I looked
of Jews
it up.
are in Columbia.
Okay. So I'm just saying it's not all bad out there.
I wonder what the gematria is of
my
Columbia.
tweet got like 1 like and I deleted it.
That was your tweet? Oh my gosh.
It wasn't the smartest
People were
thing.
Like,
that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But Malka, we continue our efforts on YouTube. And this week I want to play for you first thing my interview that I did with a father of a hostage. An abductee. I did an interview with Omer Vankert.
And you have not played this on the show?
No, I've not played it on the show yet. I did a discussion with the father of Omer Vankert, who's one of the hostages down in Gaza. Hopefully still alive. Hopefully will be liberated and rescued soon. But this was a poignant discussion and touched a lot of people out there in YouTube land, and I bring it to you here.
وين يا شباب؟ وينه؟ Yishai Fleisher is a father of one of the abductees, one of the hostages. His name is Omer. Shai, tell me a little bit about Omer. Tell me, when was the last time you saw him?
Omer is my oldest son. I saw him at Simchat Torah. We did an evening fest, and first thing in the morning he went to the Nova Fest in Kibbutz Re'im to celebrate. He went
to party a little bit.
He went only to a party. This is a big party. It's an international party coming all around. And he went there at the morning. First thing, 6:30 a.m. at Saturday. There was sirens over Gedera and almost over the country. We went to the safe room, and we called Omer. He told us that he's at the Novafest, and there is missiles, and he's going to the Migunit,
To the defensive type
defensive area that's supposed to
protect them.
to protect them at when there is missiles. This is the safe area.
Missiles.
We know missiles, and suddenly he told us that there is a gun shooting. I didn't understand what is going on. I thought this is the IDF is going to clear up the area, but unfortunately was the Hamas brutally killing and a massive attack. The Migunit, the safe room.
Mm-hmm.
It's not supposed to save them from grenades, from firing, only from missiles. And all of them were killed at this area, most of them.
So how do you know that Omer wasn't killed? How do you know that Omer survived?
Before Omer went out, he told one guy that survived this massive. He told that he don't want to die inside. He was strangling and was a lot of smoke, and he actually went outside. Before him, there were several of people that went outside, and they were killed.
They were shot dead by the terrorists.
Yeah, and Omer went out, and suddenly someone told, ceasefire, and from them, they kidnapped Omer.
How do you know?
We have a video. We didn't know, but at noon on Saturday, we got a video from the telegram of the Hamas that Omer was brutally kidnapped. And we saw him on the vehicle of the Hamas, only with underwear, handcuffed, beaten, cursing, pointing gun on him. And we saw another picture that Omer is alive, of course, on sandbags that's supposed to go to the Palestinian refugees.
Adma? What is that?
Sandbags.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was on sandbags?
On sandbags that's supposed to go to the Palestinian refugees from the Japanese government.
Yeah.
It went only to the terror organization Hamas. This we saw on the 7th of October. We did call to the IDF, to the Shabak, everywhere that we can. I thought to go inside to take him, but it's not a civilian act. It's a military act. And I send the photos, I send the video, I find by Google Maps, I find the location. We can see a building at the end of the video. I saw a building, I found it. I sent it to the Shabak. Maybe they can.
You located where your son was last seen.
Yeah,
last seen.
And this is the area that Omer went inside. This is in the center of the Gaza Strip.
Which city?
I don't know exactly. Maybe it's on Burej, maybe it's on Nuseirat, maybe it's Dir el-Balach, but
one of these areas. But you know the house, you know the place.
The house, no, but I saw it's like a planet. It's a big building.
Right.
It's inside Burej, but from there he went inside.
Shai, what else do you know about your son? Anything else? Any other information? Did you hear about him?
Yeah, we have an evidence that Omer was with Liam O. He's a kid, 18-year-old, that was released, and with 4 Thai guys that also was released. They are in.
So there were witnesses of him being alive,
alive
as a hostage.
As a hostage in a tunnel, a deep tunnel, because they didn't hear the aircraft, they didn't hear the bombing. It's a small room, down, deep tunnel, only sand. They don't have any light, they don't see sun, they don't nothing. And 54 days they were kidnapped over there. This is the last information that we have. I know my son is strong, mentally strong, and my son has a colitis disease. This is a colitis, yeah. It's a chronic disease of the stomach, and this is very worried for us. We need to take him out immediately. I know he is not getting any medicine. It's 135 days ago. So from then we don't have nothing. Only the belief and the hope and the truth that we know Omer is coming back. This is our belief.
All of the Jewish people and all of the pro-Israel people around the world and all the decent humans are praying for the release of your son and the release of all the hostages. You are here today with fellow families of hostages. Just kind of one last question. What's it like? It's like you don't know information, you have hope, but you also know that the child might be, God forbid, dead. Tell me about this process of something being stolen from you, your beloved son. You know, we all think of our children and how we would feel in such a situation. So just tell me a little bit about how you're dealing with it emotionally, spiritually, religiously. I don't know.
We are staying strong. We are keeping strong. This is the only opportunity. We believe that Omer is alive. I feel him in my heart that he's alive. Mm-hmm. And we are doing everything that we can to take him out.
Amen.
Amen.
Let us all pray together for Omer. Omer, son of your wife's name? The
Niva.
Mother's name? Omer, son of Niva?
Yeah.
Omer ben Niva. He should come home soon with all the rest of the hostages, and all the enemies of Israel should be destroyed. How do you manage also the anger at the enemy? If you have anger, who do you feel it at? Do you feel it at sometimes...
I can't feel any anger. I'm doing only one mission to take Omer back home.
I understand.
And after Omer will be home, and he will be, we'll do the anger. We'll do everything that we can to eliminate all our enemies. Am Yisrael Chai.
Am Yisrael Chai. Shai, last name again? Venkert?
Venkert.
Yeah. Shai Venkert, father of Omer Venkert. May he come back home soon. Thank you so much for being with us. Toda.
All right, folks, we're back here on the Yishai Fleisher Show. That was, yeah.
They have to be so strong, these poor families. Yeah. And, you know, this, of course, is another big disagreement here in Israel, or a big source of contention, I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
A big source of contention. The whole country, of course, is our stomachs are churning over the people who are stuck in Gaza. And every person in Israel wants those hostages to be brought home now. But the question is how to do it. There's a camp that says any way you can, including making deals with Hamas, including doing whatever the United States of America tells you to do, either economically or security-wise. Just stop the war. Doesn't matter. Not important, because the whole idea is to just get back whoever we can. Whereas there's another camp that says you absolutely cannot just chuck this entire war in the trash, even in the name of freeing these incredibly important people, because we got other really incredibly important people. We got our soldiers. We got our families across the country who deserve security, who deserve a lasting, long-term security, and deserve to finally, after all what we've just been through, to really crush the terror infrastructure so that we don't ever have to go through anything like this again, or for a long time. And this is a source of heated contention. Of course, it spills over into all kinds of other political movements, the never-ending Bibi must go type thing, which, of course, is exploiting very heavily this moment. Yishai, it turns out that our Minister of Defense, Yoav Gallant, is going to be... how do they call it? In Hebrew, they call it like to crown. But what is it like? What's the word that you use to say like authorizing a bunch of new generals and appointing? I guess like appointing a lot of new generals. So this is also a source of heated debate now. You had National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir saying that Gallant, who is basically, he says, is basically responsible for the atrocities of October 7th because of his total failures in the security department since he took office and before that as well, says that he basically has no mandate to be making major decisions about who's going to be military leadership in the future, and that the very opposite, that Bibi should fire him immediately, given his role in all the security failures of October 7th. So, you know, as we talk about the organicness, and I'm not trying to be a bitter pill here at all, but I am saying that we are fighting through some things right now. And it's not like, we had our beautiful Passover holiday, and those are moments where you feel like everything is organic, you know what I mean? Where everything is flowing, where there's good chi, right? The things are flowing.
Yep.
But then sometimes you realize that we are up against the ropes in a lot of ways. I mean, we're going to come out, but we are fighting hard. We are fighting hard for the identity of this country, and it is a rough battle.
Yeah, I agree with you. You're right, Malka. You're right. You know what, Malka? I just realized, I just looked down at my arm as you were talking. I just saw the wristband that I'm wearing, and I wear a wristband because it is time to do, I keep this wristband on during this period because of the commandment of Sfirat HaOmer.
Counting the Omer.
Counting the Omer. And I did not count the Omer yet tonight.
Okay.
And I just think we should take by the time you hear the show, it might already be the next day or the day after, but just wanted to...
Okay, so we're just going to do a real
we're going to
Jewish Omer count right
That's
now.
right. We're going to count the 49-day count that happens between the second day of Passover and the holiday of Shavuot, Feast of Weeks.
Right. And yesterday was number 9.
That's right, number 9.
The 9th day. Yesterday was the 9th day.
Number 9.
So let's count.
That's right. Right now we're going to count the one after number 9. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat haomer.
Amen.
Hayom 10 yamim. Today's 10 days. Shem Shavua Echad, which is 1 week, v'shlosha yamim laomer, and 3 days of the Omer. So it's 1 and 3. Archamanu yachzir lanu. May God return to us avodat Beit HaMikdash, the service of the temple, limkoma, to its place, b'mhera, quickly, b'yameinu, in our days. Amen, Selah. Amen, Selah.
Nice.
All right, very good.
Bam.
That's
Day
right.
number 10 counted.
You know, Malka, I'm so excited. I just can't even hide it that it's coming to Lag BaOmer. And
they canceled Lag BaOmer official national celebrations in Meron, by the way.
And that's the right thing to do.
Because of the security concerns.
I mean, there's only 2 ways to do it. Given the reality of Israel today, given the reality of where Meron is, which is in the north of Israel.
Right.
So they had to cancel the Meron because you can't have, let's say, 200,000-300,000 people, one shot there.
Right, and
bomb,
then one rocket alarm and it's total pandemonium, whether there's rockets
can
behind
kill
it or
thousands
not.
of people,
it's
God
very
forbid.
dangerous. That's right.
Right. That's the right way to do things. But there is another way.
I mean, there's a righter way.
Right, there's a righter way, which is smash the other
That's
guys
right. Make
so
it so
bad.
that Meron is safe.
Right, especially in Meron. Strike them.
Right.
With
If
a
you
Lag BaOmer spirit.
if you dare, you're losing Beirut.
Exactly. And that's why I married you, because you understand that.
You complete me.
Speaking of marrying you, I do want to wish you a happy birthday.
Oh, toda.
Yesterday, you were happily birthed. Not many
years.
years.
Little short years ago.
That's right. And I want to wish you a mazal tov.
Thank you so much.
Here on my show, the Yishai Fleisher Israel podcast. But really, having you join is in my whole life. And what can I say, Malka? You're my blessing. You're the blessing of my house.
Well, thank you for the beautiful silver tzedakah box that you gave me for my birthday. It is very nice and is very beautiful. And it makes a good Yerusha, which I think we all know makes Hungarian Jews really happy.
That's right. Yerusha means, what's that in English?
Like an inheritance. Good future inheritance for the children.
No, that's...
Yes.
Not inheritance. That's not the word. You have a different word for it.
For Yerusha?
Yeah, like... there's a better word for it in English.
What is it?
I think you used it the other day. It's a good thing to give to the children down the line.
When you die? Yeah. I think that's an inheritance.
Yeah. There was another word. Don't you remember the other word? There was some other word that you used. Anyway.
Hand me down?
No. No.
I don't know.
Whatever.
I'm sorry. You can Google it.
I think I was looking for heirloom. That's the word I was looking for.
Good one.
There's another word which is primogeniture.
Yeah, it would make a really good primogeniture for the kids.
Yeah. And that's a great primogeniture.
Great. I think we've all learned a lot.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. I guess I'm having a little poison ivy right now. I'm sorry.
It's that Harvard education.
Harvard. have it yet. I do sometimes wear a Harvard hat, but I tell people
Stop.
It
Yeah.
stands for Hebron. Okay, Hebron. And I do want to thank the Hebron Jewish community for continuing to be awesome and strong out there and housing the tomb of the forefathers and mothers, welcoming people from all over the world. Check out HebronFund.org and keep us strong out there to hold on against all the various wars that we face. Same thing for the Temple Mount. I have had the great privilege to go to Hebron first and also to go to the Temple Mount on the holiday of Pesach.
That's right.
And my good friend
That's
MJ.
speaking of organic. That's organic.
Right. My good friend MJ heads up an organization called highonthehar.com, which brings you to the Temple Mount. I want to thank her and all that she does. I want you to check out her website, highonthehar.com. So hebronfund.org, highonthehar.com. And also check out great news channels, jewishpress.com, which houses our show, and jns.org. Both great, correct thinking websites for news and updates of what's going on there. Check them out. Speaking of good news websites, there is the website of Twitter. Malka is so much better than me on Twitter.
I don't know about that.
Well,
You have a lot more followers than me.
that's more like because they want to see a freak show. When they want to read a good tweet, they go to your
Thank
Twitter, which are just superior in every way. I did do a YouTube video about my experiences on Twitter. And so I just picked one tweet and read out some of the comments that are there. So check out this discussion that I had with myself, my favorite kind of discussion about the experiences that I have on Twitter. Here is what I tweeted or X'd,
Yes.
and what people tweeted back at me out there in the narrative war. All right, everybody, shalom and welcome to my studios in Hebron, Judea, Israel. And today I wanted to do something a little bit different, which is to show you what it's like to tweet out there on X as a pro-Israel Twitterer, Xer, and to face the incredible keyboard warriors of the jihad who spew endless amounts of hate out there, especially when you have a tweet that starts to give any kind of like excitement and push for Israel. And you know what? You can be out there on Twitter or X or other social media platforms. You could get this despair. You could start feeling despair or despondent or depressed because of all the hate that's out there, right? And I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make you despondent and despaired and depressed. And we won't let them. We shall not let them. Why not? Because this is the most exciting time for the Jewish people in 2,000 years. We are back to our land. We are rebuilding the third Commonwealth. And this is an amazing time for the Jewish people. 7 million Jews live in the land of Israel. It's a tiny piece of land within the Middle East, within the Arab Middle East. And we're eking out an existence through our defense and through our faith in God and our history. So we're not in the business of being depressed, in despair, or despondent. But that doesn't mean that we don't face the firing squad out there of the haters. There's also a lot of lovers. Don't forget that. But let's take a look at some of what the haters are up to. So I'm going to change the screen for a second. Here we go. Let's take a look at what it's like. So I put out a post that said, training with my team today. All right. Training with my team today. Israel's ready to fight for 1,000 years if need be. Why did I write that? Because a lot of times the Israeli line is to say, we want peace. We just want peace. And peace is nice. The problem is that when you start talking like that, you know what happens? The enemy starts to identify a weakness in you. They start to identify that you want peace so much that you're willing to give up your land and then therefore give up your defenses and hope for a pipe dream that you're going to somehow cut away this land, give them some land and appease them and thereby gain peace. You shall not be gaining any peace if you appease them. And that's what I tell my friends. I say to them, listen, you have to write to them that while we are peace-loving people, we are willing to fight for 1,000 years for our rights and for our land. Okay, so that's why I wrote that. And I also added a little text box that said, God is with us. And you could see that this is the rapid response team that I train with. Some guys are a little bit older, and they're veteran, awesome shooters, awesome defenders. Not everybody's older, but there certainly are some awesome guys there that are strong. And that's the way it's supposed to be, like rabbis with guns, right? You got the holiness side, you got the God side, and then you got the history side, and then you got the defense side, and that's actually what Israel is. It's an armed ethnic minority, a defensive minority with an amazing past and an incredible destiny. So let's take a look at some of the comments. First, my buddy Jeremy Gimpel writes, some people on your team look like they've already been fighting for 1,000 years. Good one, Jeremy. That's funny. Making a little age joke there. No problem, buddy. He actually happens to be a very dear friend of mine, so I let him make that joke. And then there's this guy who writes, what are you hunting with those rifles? Well, the answer is we're not hunting anything. We're defending. But I wrote back, bad guys. Well, a whole thing ensued. We'll get to the kind of responses that we're going to hear from people who didn't like. Actually, you know what? I'll click through here. All right, let's see what happens when I click through on this response. So I wrote bad guys. So he writes, how do guys qualify as bad? If they're jihadists with a Nazi ideology and they hate Israel and they want to destroy us, they qualify as bad. That's the answer to your question. But then you get this. You get this guy, trials and tribulations. He puts up this little emoji of a watermelon. The so-called Palestinians, we'll call them Pallies from here on, they somehow have now identified themselves with the watermelon. Okay, because of the colors. Whatever. So this guy writes, you misspelled children, i.e. we're hunting children. And then you got all kinds of people who say that you're shooting children all the time. That's the big one. Because the blood libel is that Israel is somehow hunting children specifically. Not that Hamas attacked Israel and now we're trying to clean out that nest of jihadism. Not that Hamas loves when children are hurt, because that's exactly their strategy about how to defeat Israel, which is to make sure that children are struck and civilians are struck so that they could go to the newspapers and show, look how evil Israel is, right? They literally set out to strike our civilians, and they took babies hostages, and they shoot rockets endlessly, tens of thousands of rockets since 2005 at the civilian populations. But now that we're striking them hard, they were prepared for that, to sell you the narrative that Israel is the abuser of children, all right? So let's get back to some of the other ones. See, as I said to you, we have a lot of friends as well. My friend Herb says, God bless all those who protect the Jewish people. Am Yisrael Chai, now and forever. And the amazing Rabbi Shlomo Katz writes, Hagiborim Shalano, our heroes. So then you have all kinds of other people. Then you have this guy. Let's see what Chazaria Sucks writes. He writes, you never bring peace wherever you go. You never bring peace wherever you go. Good luck on taking on the whole world. Taking on the whole world? I'm not taking on the whole world. I'm just trying to live in my ancestral homeland. I'm not taking on the whole world. The Jewish people have been a blessing for the whole world. So how would we be taking on the whole world? I don't understand that. And then this guy adds that same kind of commentary here. It's correct. That's exactly what Jews do. Keep fighting with everyone around them. Is that what the Jewish people are famous for fighting with everyone around them? Certainly not. But we will defend ourselves since we are a post-Holocaust people. We know what this ideology leads to, and we will not let it destroy our peoplehood. So we're going to fight back. But then this guy writes, our prayers are with you. So there are people from around the world who really feel strongly that they're identifying with Israel. But then this guy, G for Gaza, P for Pal Resistance, writes, there is no Isra, and then he's got a poopy sign for the end of Isra. So Isra poop, right? There is no Israel. Well, bad news for the haters, there is an Israel. Period. It exists, baby. You're not going to do anything about it. And then he's got some posters. Let's get to some of the other comments. Writes this guy, the Jackson Homestead. He goes, I need that crew working on my farm. Keep up the good work. All of Israel. All for Israel. And then this guy writes, the older gentleman is fit and ready to fight. I don't know which older gentleman he's referring to. If it's me, then you're right. And the other guys are as well. And this guy writes, IDF, we are behind you. Destroy Hamas. But then the bad guys write, won't be around that long, Team Iran, Israel terrorist organization. So I just want you to know that the first replies to the tweets were the positive ones because they're my followers. But then it gets to the haters got a hold of this tweet, right? And let's Let's remember, by the way, where we're at. I just want to remind you, this is the original tweet. Okay, it's me and my team training with my team today. Israel is ready to fight for 1,000 years if need be. Let's keep going and see what other folks are writing. All right, they say, let's see, that was something fighting for what? Khazaria or Middle East? As in, this guy's trying to say, you guys are not from around here. You're Khazars. That's another whole line. The Jews are not Jews. We're not from here. We're not actually the real Jewish people. We're not the Jewish people of the Quran. We're not from here. We're Khazars, some kind of tribe that converted to Judaism and now is land grabbing. That's another whole like line of narrative, which is we are not only thieves of this land, we're thieves of this whole identity. Okay. Let's see some other replies. We have here. Oh, here we go. I like this one. Doubt you or your country will finish this century, my guy. So you doubt that the Jewish people are going to Israel is going to finish the century. Okay, I'll take that bet. I'm willing to bet that we're going to be awesome at the end of the 2000s, whatever we're 2024. I bet you that by the year 2100, Israel is going to be big and strong. But you say you doubt it. That's okay. You can doubt that. And so this guy, Palestine, the heart of humanity, writes, I doubt that very much. I guess he means he doubts that we're going to be here. We're going to fight for 1,000 years. You see, that fight for 1,000 years thing really does bother them. Okay. Now, here's another very important line of the haters, which is, or until U.S. funding ends. Dun, dun, dun. You're only here because of U.S. funding. Israel's GDP is $500 billion a year. And U.S. Assistance for joint defense development is $3 billion a year out of $500 billion GDP. But this guy believes that the whole reason that Israel exists is because of U.S. funding. Okay, I don't think that's right. And then Viking Fury writes, where have you been for 1,000 years? I'll answer you. We've been dispersed. Some of us actually stayed in the land, but we were dispersed to Europe and to Sephardic countries and to this region, to Syria, to Yemen, to Iraq, to Iran, to Europe, to France and Germany, and England, and then to the United States. We've been dispersed. And now, for the last 500 years, we're in a process of ingathering. It's one of the most incredible processes that humanity has ever seen, which is the ingathering of the Jewish people to the land of Israel. Now, this starts something else. This guy, Eric, is now showing videos ostensibly of an IDF soldier being shot and killed. These are very hard videos. I don't know if it's a true video or not. And indeed, in war, even our soldiers get killed. And guess what? That's not something that's going to stop us. Okay, we are in a war. We know that we're in a war. We know that we're at the war. And yes, we lose soldiers sometimes and civilians, but we're going to keep fighting for 1,000 years if need be. And here comes another guy named Yursi Said, right? Probably an anti-Israel Arab. At least that's how he presents himself. He goes, you know deep down inside that Israel will not survive in its current form another 80 years. I agree with you. It's not going to survive in its current form. It's going to be way bigger and awesomer. Yeah, it's going to be awesome, Israel. You're right. And then he writes, you have no roots in this area. We have no roots in this area. You dig an inch underneath the ground and you find Jewish remains here in Hebron. We've lived here in the city continuously for over 3,000 years. We have remains here. We have found bulai from the Davidic period, from close to the Davidic period. We're talking about 2,900 years ago. Not to mention Second Temple. That's easy. We have a Second Temple building here called the Tomb of the Patriarchs and Matriarchs, the Machpelah. We have no roots in this land. I mean, the nerve. We have no roots in this land, really. We are the roots of this land. The Arabs that came here in the first Arab conquest in the 7th century, they have much less roots here.
and they, of course, come from Saudi Arabia. I don't deny that they have been here for the last 1,600 years, but that's much less than our 3,500 years. We've been here for about 2,000 years more than the Arabs in this region, in this part of the region. He writes, you are nomadic tribes roaming the desert of the Middle East between the great civilizations of Egypt, Syria, Iraq, Persia, and Turkey. We were definitely around when there were these empires. We fought wars with these empires, like Syria. We fought wars with Syria. That's called Hanukkah. We definitely lived in Iraq. We still have Jews living in Persia. And we definitely started coming back to Turkey when the Turkish Empire welcomed its Jews after the Spanish, the eviction of the Jews from Spain and the Inquisition. So we went to Turkey, and soon we were able to go back to the Holy Land. Okay. Let's keep going. Here's a picture of Hitler. All right. Let's see if there's anything else that we could find. Oh, this person is laughing because they're laughing. See, they love to laugh. They think they're laughing at us. And that's why I tell them we're ready to fight for 1,000 years. It's no laughing matter. It's hard for them. And here, this guy writes, murderous clowns. Boy, that is scary. Murderous clowns. I don't want murderous clowns. And this guy writes, genocidal army. Okay, I mean, we're not so good at genocide. We haven't genocided anybody. We've been victims of genocide. We haven't genocided anybody. There's like tons of Arabs around here, and there's no sign of genocide. Yes, there's been a war in Gaza, and it's killed a lot of people. It's nothing like the war that the Arabs make on themselves. It's not like the 500,000 Arabs that Assad murdered in Syria, right? It's nothing near what's been happening in the Ukraine. But okay, genocide. That's the lingo. Here's another one: kids buster. Okay, like bunker buster, but you're killing kids. And this guy writes, "Good luck. Pack your diapers. Don't forget." Okay. See, they have it both ways. It's like we're horrific, but we're also cowardly. All right. Oh, here's Omar with a flag of Israel. I think he's got a picture of Hitler there. Yeah, it's a picture of Hitler and a Palestinian flag, and he writes, "By God, you mean U.S., right? As in, instead of God is with us, the U.S. is with us." And, it's so funny. I like this one. You coward. So go to the front lines in Gaza and prove it. Prove what? I'm in the front lines of Hebron and Judea. That's not good enough. I have to go fight in Gaza. Prove what? That we're going to defend our land everywhere? That we're going to defend Jerusalem? What are you saying here? I don't understand. Let's see. This is a different one here. Not sure the world's sodomization capital called Israel will last 1,000 years. The land of Israel is holy, but the state of Israel is an abomination. So all I could say about that is the state of Israel is a vehicle to fulfill the age-old dream of the ingathering of the exiles. It is a vehicle to defend the Jewish people, to uphold Jewish culture, and to make sure that our ethnic minority in this region survives. That is the goal of the state of Israel. That is what it's here for. It's not an abomination. Does it make mistakes? Yes. Does it have a great system? Some parts are good and some parts are medium. Okay. But it is certainly not an abomination. It is an amazing vehicle to fulfill that age-old dream of the ingathering of the land of Israel. And then here's this guy again writing, Israel is ready to fight for 1,000 years with U.S. military aid. I think that we should have relationships and partnerships with all kinds of countries, including superpowers like the U.S. and maybe India and maybe the UAE, like the Abraham Accords. There are many ways to have relationships, and you need relationships, strategic relationships. Of course, when they tell you to not fight, you got to fight. And that's very important that Israel understands that even if we have a relationship with the United States, it can't be a strategic detriment. There are times when you have to say, hey, we got to go at it alone if you don't understand the importance of this thing. And then you'll have to explain this to God eventually. Again, the baby killer line. All right, this is an interesting one. Look at this one. Look at this one. There's a picture that you don't get a lot. This is one of these AI moments. It's like what command do you put into AI in order to make this? Make me a devil, evil creature with Zionism in the background and on the forehead. I mean, it's a creative thing. It's really a creative thing. But I want you to know that this picture is really something that not a few Arabs, not a few Muslims, and not a few Israel haters believe in. They really believe that Israel is some kind of devil, some kind of antichrist, some kind of thing. And that's too bad, because the Bible tells us that that those who bless Israel will be blessed. And the Jewish people are coming back to Israel because God wants that. And this devil creature is more of a reflection of the haters than anything else. This is some kind of satanic thing. And Israel's actually beautiful. Israel's is young and vibrant and alive, and is a source of blessing and a source of knowledge for this world, and could be a source of great peace in this region if they would accept it. But sadly, that's the image. Here's a picture of one of the leaders of Hamas that is Sinwar. He's basically probably the brain behind the October 7th attacks. I'm not sure what this picture is supposed to give me here. And look at this. I like this one also. Mom, look, I is chosen. I'm chosen. I can now kill, rape, smuggle organs, and steal the land of the Palestinians. Yay, Ashken Nazi. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That there's a lot of stuff in there in that hateful meme. First thing, it's the chosen. The Jewish people are promised the land of Israel, are promised to continue to survive through the generations and have children. And this is the land that they will inherit. This is the land that was given to Abraham by God. It's a small piece of land, really. But remember, the Arabs are also, at least identify themselves as the children of Abraham. And they also live in this region because the broader borders, what's called from the river to the sea, i.e. from the Euphrates to the sea, is really the children of Abraham. And that really is the Arabs and the Jews. And that's where we exist. The other river to the sea is really the river Jordan and the little bit past it. And then to the Mediterranean, it's much smaller borders. That's supposed to be the Jewish peoples. So, but this guy is throwing in the blood libel. We can now kill, rape, smuggle organs, steal land of Palestinians. Basically, this is like the ultimate. It's got it all. It's got the blood libel. We're murderers. We're stealing somebody else's land. Instead of saying it's our land, and somebody's trying to, the big dynamic around here is that the jihadism is trying to take away our land. We've been fighting wars against the whole Arab world. 6 Arab armies, 7 Arab armies attacked us in 48. We had to push them back in 67, push them back from trying to annihilate us in 73. Okay, but we're the thieves. We're this tiny little piece of land in this region. We're the thieves, and we are not the rapists, and we're not the smugglers of organs. But okay, there you go. And we're the Nazis, according to this guy as well. So there you go. Okay. See, and this guy also adds into it. He says, we're the Nazis now. Yeah, the Jewish people are the Nazis. We're the anti-Nazis. We're the anti-colonialist because we're actually kicking out the colonialist Islam aspect, the jihadist aspect. We're pushing it back. We're pushing back all the other colonial institutions that were here, the Turks and the Brits and their creation, the Jordanians and the Mamluks and the Crusaders. We're not the continuation of the Crusaders. We're the healers of all that land conquest of people holding on to our land, and the rightful custodians are back. But this picture, again, another AI moment. And what is the tagline? Zionism is an anti-Semitic death cult. Not the jihad that calls for death all the time, right? Not the jihad that destroys Syria and Egypt and Iraq and Iran. Not that jihad that destroys all those societies and subjugates women and creates such a dull society. No, we, Israel, this flourishing light in the Middle East, which I call the Abrahamic region, by the way, we're the Nazis now. All right. Let's see if we can get into any happy replies to finish off the video. Let's see. Hope you're all wiped out. That's what this guy writes. Hope you're all wiped out. Well, I like that. At least you're telling your truth. That's good. And then this guy writes, Muhammad Sabir writes, if God is with you, then leave United States alone, please. Why is that? Why should we do that? Why? Because God is with us. We can't have relationships with countries. That's just dumb.
And this guy writes, how can God, what happened? Oh, how can God be with killers like you? How many sheep belong to Palestinians were gunned down in training? You will become extinct in 1,000 years. Dear viewer, who do you think is going to become extinct in 1,000 years? The jihad, the self-destructive jihad, or the Jewish people who have survived through thick and thin? Read what Mark Twain writes. We have survived the Babylonians and the Persians and the Greeks and the Romans and have maintained our sharp minds and our yearning to return to this land. All right, let's finish up here with a little positivity. Oh, a little more negativity, just another one. I like this one a lot. Illegal immigrant from Poland. It's true, by the way, that my grandfather was from Poland, but that's because we were kicked out of this land by the Romans. But now we're back because of God's historical justice. Let's finish up with some positive stuff. Here's Bob. He writes, nice one, Yishai. Standing strong to defend Israel and the free world. And that's why I make these tweets, right? Because one could say, why do you even waste your time? Because there's Bobs out there that need strengthening. And then there's also, by the way, ignorant folks who need to hear a strong truth. And there's also bad guys that need to see that the image of my rapid response team in our defense, and to hear that, yes, we're going to fight for 1,000 years. It's pointless to try to destroy us. Let's finish up with this one. Yishai, brother, you, sir, are a badass. That's good, because Jews need to be badass. A Jew's Jew, a mensch. Keep it up. I'm Israel Chai. All right. Thank you very much, Ezra. And thank you very much to all the folks that wrote in on this tweet. There's hundreds more comments, but it all started very simply with this picture of badass Jews, strong Jews in the land of Israel defending themselves. And it's a pleasure to be with you and to continue to be strong from this good land. I do urge you to subscribe to our channel. We work hard to keep it fun and entertaining and flowing. So please subscribe to Yishai Fleisher TV. And there are blessings to you from this good land, from this land of blessings to you. And if you're watching this right before Passover, as I'm recording this, I want to wish you a happy and healthy Passover. May we cleanse ourselves this Passover from all the chametz. All the chametz is all the leavened products, but it really means all the unnecessary stuff that is stuck onto us, all the kind of death energy. Let's shed that, renew our commitment to faith in God and to supporting and strengthening Israel. God bless you folks wherever you are, and shalom. And we're back here on the Yishai Fleisher Show. Thank you so much. Malka, before I go on, I want to thank Ben Bresky, Yocheved Simon, Tabitha, Moshe Herman and Lou when we're live.
David.
And our man David, making our social media rocket out there. Thank you so much. I want to thank the folks at buymeacoffee.com/Yishai.
Yes.
For creating a great platform for people to connect to us and to help us with our work. And the good folks at RetroWatchGuy.com, making awesome watches that I'll be wearing my Retro Watch Guy this Shabbos.
That's right, coming up.
And check out their old watches. Not ancient. There's no like little
sundial.
No sundials.
Strap on your hand.
That's right. And you won't have that, but they have great, cool watches from the past.
Or those
today.
little like sand hourglass.
That's right.
Where you flip it over.
That's right. I had one of those. Then I stood on my head. Everything got messed up. Anyway, that's that. So, and check out also our good friends at KosherCycleTours.com, bringing you a great chance to see the world from a bicycle, and doing it with kosherness and on style. Awesome. KosherCycleTours.com. And finally, our good friends at prohibitionpickle.co.il, making kosher food awesome and helping folks in the Holy Land be sated with holiness on the Sabbath, and bringing you Ashkenazi revival tastes. That's prohibitionpickle.co.il. When I think of retro, I think of Ben Bresky. He's really a special man and a man, a prodigious, fearless reporter out there. And he's got something that I've asked him to do something for a while, which is tell us more stories about what's happening, how it happened in Israel. And this week's audio history segment is about Pinchas Rutenberg and the founding of the Israel Electric Corporation in 1923. That's right. I said to him, Ben, tell us about how Israel functions, like who made the stuff. And so today is about the story of the Israel Electric Corporation. Started a long time ago, about just about 101 years ago.
Wow.
I don't remember there was a party last year, but there should have been. And so here's the indefatigable Ben Bresky with the story.
This is a moment in Jewish history. Once I received my electric bill, and on the envelope was the glowering face of Pinchas Rutenberg, who founded the Israeli Electric Company back in the 1920s. Usually, there are cartoon characters or simply a white envelope, but they were celebrating an anniversary, and it made me think about what it was like back then before electricity came to the underdeveloped, underpopulated land of Israel. And who is this guy, Pinchas Rutenberg, and why does every single photo of him show him with a face full of scowl? It was over 100 years ago that Pinchas Rutenberg switched on the first ever electric lights in Tel Aviv back in June 1923. A special ceremony was held last summer to mark the occasion. The planning stages began several years before as the Palestine Electric Company, back when Palestinians meant Jews who lived in the land of Israel, and the country was run by the British. Pinchas Rutenberg wrote the proposal and organized the construction of what was called the first Jordan hydroelectric power plant in Naharaim, on the banks of the Jordan River. He arranged the hiring of 600 Hebrew-speaking laborers. That number increased to over 3,000 when the power plant was built, and eventually Israel became part of the modern era. These laborers lived in Tel Or, a community on the eastern side of the Jordan River, which after 1948 became the nation of Jordan. Pinchas Rutenberg was an interesting personality. He began his activism in Russia as a dedicated socialist, but later became an ardent Zionist and worked together with Zev Jabotinsky. Born in the Russian Empire, Rutenberg attended the Technology Institute in St. Petersburg, where he joined the Socialist Revolutionary Party. He was an adherent to Father Gregory Gapon, a Russian Orthodox priest who was a leader of the workers. The Bloody Sunday incident of 1905 was precipitated when Father Gapon led a demonstration of workers to the Winter Palace in St. Petersburg to present a petition to Tsar Nicholas II. When the Imperial Guards opened fire, Rutenberg grabbed Gapon out of the way. He then helped him change from his priestly robes into ordinary clothing. The two fled to Europe, where they joined other Russian socialist leaders. But there it was revealed to Rutenberg the presence of double agents who were reporting back to the Russian police. When his fellow Russian socialists revealed this to him, he left the room, and moments later when he returned, he found Gapon hanged. Rutenberg was expelled from the movement, and he fled to Italy. It was there he focused his energies on hydraulic engineering. He also became involved in the Zionist movement. When World War I began, the Jewish community of the land of Israel was faced with the need of self-defense units. That's when he threw his support behind Zev Jabotinsky and Yosef Trumpeldor, who founded the Jewish Legion, the first Jewish fighting force since the days of the Romans. Rutenberg then traveled to the United States, where he met with Jewish leaders. He was one of the founding members of the American Jewish Congress. It was in America that he began his plans to bring electricity to Israel. The following is from a pamphlet published in 1922 by the Palestine Development Council called Hydroelectric Developments in Palestine, the Rutenberg Project, a detailed prospectus. In addition to charts, maps, and graphs, there's an appendix with the parliamentary debates in Great Britain's House of Lords. Here are some choice excerpts. The Duke of Sutherland. My lords, the Rutenberg scheme is the most substantial practical contribution so far made by Judaism to the restoration of the prosperity to Palestine. The proposal, put shortly, is that the River Jordan should be dammed at the point where it leaves the Lake of Tiberias, and the lake thus converted into a great natural reservoir. Turbines are then to be installed near the dam, and the water power employed for the generation of electricity. the effects of which would be to bring under cultivation large areas at which are present practically wastelands, used only for grazing at certain seasons of the year. Lord Raglan, may I ask the noble Duke whether the owners will be given an opportunity of appearing before an independent tribunal? The Duke of Sutherland. The Duke of Sutherland. I must have notice of that question. Perhaps the noble lord will ask me later. As regards to the last part of the question on the paper, Mr. Rutenberg and his friends do not propose to employ only Jewish labor on the works which are to be carried out. On the contrary, the scheme will benefit all inhabitants of the country, Jews and Arabs alike. It will give employment to a large number of Arabs. Jewish and Arab laborers will work side by side on digging the canals, building the powerhouses, installing the machinery, and keeping the whole in running order, each class of labor performing the work for which it is most suited. Also in the pamphlet is a letter from Sir Herbert Samuel, the High Commissioner of Palestine, who wrote to Pinchas Rutenberg the following. The mission on which you will be engaged in America is one of the greatest importance in Palestine. The plan for utilization of the principal sources of water power in the country for the production of electric energy, combined with the irrigation and colonization of certain of the lands now vacant or sparsely cultivated. It is one of the most valuable measures that could be devised for the economic regeneration of the country. His Majesty's government, as well as the administration of Palestine, are greatly interested in the scheme and desirous of extending it to every encouragement. It will be a striking example of the advantage to be gained from the introduction of Jewish enterprise and capital and the establishment of additional colonies of Jewish settlers. I would express the very earnest hope that you may secure in America the measure of financial support that is essential to enable you to carry into execution your most valuable project. Indeed, Rutenberg did raise money from Jewish communities in America and around the world, and that leads us up to that day on June 1923, in which he threw the switch and illuminated Tel Aviv for the first time. Rutenberg also had a role in Jewish communal affairs. In 1934, he made an attempt to reconcile two old friends, Zev Jabotinsky, representing the Zionist revisionist movement, and David Ben-Gurion, representing the Zionist labor movement. The two met in London under Rutenberg's mediation and signed a short-lived agreement. What did last was Rutenberg's powerhouse in Naharaim. Well, not the actual building. When the War of Independence began in 1948, it was attacked and looted by Iraqi soldiers who had joined the Jordanian Legion in the war. But by that time, Rutenberg and the new Israelis had already built many other power stations. The Rutenberg powerhouse was the beginning of today's Israel Electric Corporation, which provides power throughout the state of Israel. Pinchas Rutenberg passed away in 1942. His large home on the Carmel overlooking Haifa was donated for the benefit of youth education and is today called the Rutenberg Institute. This has been a moment in Jewish history. Thank you to Yishai Fleisher. Thank you to all the listeners, and shalom.
And we're back here on the Yishai Fleisher Show. Shalom. I want you to write me an email, please, yishaifleisher.com. I know you're out there. And I know that it ain't simple out there. And in fact, we did get an email. We got an email with pictures of a delightful little baby child.
Aw.
And the email reads as following. Dear Yishai and Malka, I hope this email finds you well. It has been a while since we connected, but I thought you would be interested to know that your favorite little fan, Zephaniah,
he is my favorite little fan,
is now a big brother to the sweetest little baby, Abigail Lucille Rose.
Wow.
She says, Rachel says, there is so much heartbreaking news daily. I wanted to give you both something to smile about. She's just 2 months old now and just had her first Passover. Zephaniah gladly asked and answered the 4 questions for her and found the Afikomen. May the next year she'll be able to share in the tasks. And she is part of the lovers. If I can writes Rachel, if I can raise her to love God and love his land and his people, This is all I can ask for.
Wow.
Love and blessings to you and yours.
Mazel
Thank you so
tov,
much,
mazel
mommy.
tov.
Mommy, look at this. Look at this little gal right here.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right.
She's cute.
So Malka, that's just an email.
Well,
and
that's
you know
very
what?
that's very, very nice. Mazel tov.
You know what? Today I was in the house of prayer downstairs.
Yeah.
And I bumped into a good friend of ours, Eugene Kontorovich, this morning. Hadn't seen him in a long time.
International law expert.
That's right. And you know what I said to him? I said to him, "Can I tell you a piece of good news?" That was the first thing I said to him.
Yeah, and he's
He
like,
goes- he goes,
please
"Yes."
do. Yes,
And I'm
everyone
like,
wants good
I'm
news.
like, this new Chabad Chumash, this new Pentateuch, this new book
Pentateuch.
that it came out.
The 5 books of Moses.
5 books of Moses with this
Bible.
amazing translation is one of the most fabulous new books that have come out in the market in a long time. I
So why
love
don't
it
I have one yet?
because I haven't been able to acquire one, but there's 3 in the synagogue.
had a birthday.
That's right. I got you something really nice.
That's true. Fine.
And I'll get you these
But
books
your
as well.
birthday's coming up.
True, but let's get to the point here, which is that there is knowledge, there is goodness, there's peoples around the world that want to connect to the knowledge of Israel,
Yeah.
the light of Israel, and I adjure you, dear friends, now more than ever, I came up with a crazy slogan for the Hebron Fund float this year.
Okay,
Yeah.
you mean for the Israel Day Parade?
For the Israel Day Parade,
Yeah.
which is I'm going to be in the Israel Day Parade,
New
June
York City?
2nd, New York City. Be there.
right.
Oh, and that reminds me. Before I tell you the slogan, there's also the great conference that's happening. The Hayovel organization. I'm going to be in Tennessee, in Nashville, on May 20th. Be there or be square.
You can get your cowboy hat reshapen.
I don't think that's not going to happen there. There's not going to be reshaping. Although that's a good idea.
I bet they do it at the airport, literally.
But folks, you got to come. If you are a lover of Israel, this is a conference for you. Please join me. It's going to be awesome, and the Hayovel folks are going to be there. I'm going to be there, and even minor stars like Ari and Jeremy. You know what I mean? You know, but you got to come in and be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great conference. But I came up with a slogan. Now and forever. The Chevron slogan
for Chevron.
Chevron float, right, is Mi'azul Tamid.
Yes.
So we call it now and forever, now more than ever.
That's good. Hurry up. Maybe Dan can put it on the T-shirt.
I spoke to him today.
And?
He loved it. He loved
Is he
it.
going to put on the shirt?
He's going to put on the
With
shirt.
Good, cool fonts?
Yeah, and he told me he's going to make the T-shirt a really like unattractive color, but
Yeah, like brown. I'm looking for like a dark brown or a light brown.
he likes like real yellow so that it stands
or like
out.
very extremely yellow or like really purple, but the kind of purple
No.
that was only cool
Come on.
pre-1990.
I told him that we're going to do the biblical theme, the idea of like wearing these biblical sashes
What,
and
like
stuff like
tunics?
that. Yeah, and I told him
What,
how
you're
to do
going to
it.
get it printed on a tunic?
No, I don't know. But the point, I don't know how it's going to work out. But the point is that that's the slogan. Do you like that? Now,
I really do.
now and forever, now more than ever.
I have to.
Did you like it?
Bam.
I know.
Mic drop. We're out.
He really liked that, and I was, you know what? And I want to make one last plug here today. Do you know what I have a plug for today? I'm going to say something so weird. Today, I challenged myself all day to concentrate.
That's hard. Did you manage?
Dude, I was in meeting after meeting today, and I was burning the candle of concentration
Wow.
today, like an athlete.
Wow.
I'm telling you, I was like a Ferrari out there.
Wow.
I'm telling you, I was
You were
revving.
a Ferrari of concentration?
I was a Ferrari of concentration. Ferrari, okay, of concentration.
Do you know any Ferrari?
I was like, I'm telling you, I
If
was.
you know where that movie is,
Yeah.
what movie that quotes, then you can.
And if you don't know,
write
you're
in.
obviously
then
not a parent.
You have no
Okay.
children. Yes.
So there you go. So I was like, I'm telling you, concentration. I was like, I will make decisions with full thought as much as I can possible.
And
I was like, I resisted mostly to look at my phone and stuff during
That's hard.
meetings and stuff like that. I was like, I put my phone down. I sat and I'm like, concentrate. I concentrated as much as possible. I'm telling you, I was like a laser. Okay, something I like to call laser. I was laser focused, Malka. And you know why? Because I'm like, and I read this in a book somewhere that focus is going to be one of the greatest assets
Yeah.
and currencies.
Can't we just get the AI to focus for us?
I'm telling you, I was like, focus, Yishai. Focus, make serious decisions for Am Yisrael today, whatever level
Wow.
you're at. And I did it all day, and I'm telling you, I could feel my like my brain like working like one of those old trains when you throw in the logs and it was like a burning hot thing, you know? I was just like, I was really trying to work. I want to wish everybody concentration. When you're playing with your kids, concentrate. You're praying to God Almighty, concentrate. You're learning the Torah, concentrate. You got to make decisions at work, concentrate. Put that phone away and just like really, really work. And let's do it. And so I'm saying to you, there's a lot of noise out there.
There sure is.
There's a lot of noise, and we got to concentrate on the mission to move it forward. Push that ball forward. That is the time that we're living in. And that's what I gave myself all day today.
Wow.
All day today. All day. I'm telling you, all day. I'm telling you.
Are you exhausted now?
I was exhausted until we started doing the show, but being with you on the air just energized me. That's just the way it is. All right, folks, I want to bless you wherever you are. Lots of love and lots of blessings from the land of blessings. Happy birthday, Malka Fleisher.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being so fabulous and awesome. And I want to bless little Zephaniah and little...
and his sister, Abigail Lucille Rose. Am I right?
Dang. Nice, Malka Fleisher.
She's so adorable, so I remember her name.
You bet she is. God bless those. God bless all of our friends from all over the world, from the Jewish people, from the nations that love Israel, and from all of those that want to be united and organic and holistic. Because if you're a nation on your land serving God, you're making this world a better place. All of us can have those feelings. All of us should come up to Jerusalem and serve the God of Israel at least once a year. For the Jewish people, 3 times a year. For the nations, at least once a year. There's so many ways that we can make this earth a reflection of God. It's going to be a reflection of God. We could do it. And now there's no time like today. What did I say? Now and forever. Now more than ever. Now more than ever. That's exactly the time we're living in right now. And there's really one word for this time. If I had to boil it down to one word, opportunity. It's a time of opportunity. That's what this time is. It's a time with just full of opportunity for change. I keep meeting people. We had a few people here just over a few minutes ago, and this lady said that she knows a lady who's like, well, I decided to keep Sabbath because of the October 7th. I decided to keep. I hear this all the time now.
Wow,
it's happening. It's
That's
a time
brave.
of opportunity. Let's push it forward, and I adjure you. Zero depression, just light, just moving forward. That doesn't mean rose-colored glasses. That means fighting through. Keep pushing
Keep at
through.
it.
That's right. Keep at it. That's exactly it. All right, Malka Fleisher, I want to thank you so much. I want to thank everybody that makes this show possible. Lots of love to you and lots of blessings from the land of blessings. And shalom. Shabbat shalom.